Well, hello, Flickering Myth family, and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ, and in this video, we are going to be continuing our award season coverage for 2024's Oscars. I can't believe we're already looking at 2024, and I can't believe we're looking at one of my favorite films of the year. We are going to be diving into one of the picks for the Best International Film category, but this movie is much more than that. I honestly think this is the best South Korean film I've seen since Parasite. Yes, we are talking about Concrete Utopia. Every year, South Korea seems to be just pumping out amazing films. I've loved Korean films since I saw Old Boy in the early 2000s, and since then, I've been continuing my journey finding weird new films like The Tale of Two Sisters. We had, oh my god, well, I Saw the Devil, which one of the main actors from I Saw the Devil is in this movie and eats it up. This has been a film industry that I've always admired, and then Parasite hit in 2019, and it changed the entire game. It seemed like everyone was aware then of how great South Korean cinema could be. So it's been a bit of a lull. I know we've had the pandemic, and there's been some pretty good ones. Broker, Hashtag Alive. I've liked some of the Korean films that have come out, but this one right here, Concrete Utopia, just brought me back to so much that I love about Korean cinema. This movie is genreless. Like, it's a bit of a horror film. It's a disaster movie. There's a romance. There's comedy. It's just everything there rolled up in a crazy, crazy satirical little, like, ball. I really think this movie hits every note, and it feels like a return to form for Korean cinema. For me, when I think of Korean films, I think of specifically the social commentary. These movies often have something to say. There is a lot of meaning and emotions and power behind almost every movement, everything in the script, every line of dialogue, every single moment seems to mean something and advance the plot. Concrete Utopia does exactly that. It takes the disaster movie premise, but it puts the disaster in the background and it makes us focus on the human terrifying drama. That's where this really won me over. It actually kind of reminds me in a way of The Walking Dead. At times it felt like the zombies were the catalyst for this event, but they were often put into the background where we dealt with humans being the craziest people. That's what this reminds me of. Yes, an earthquake has destroyed all of Seoul, Korea, but what would happen if this group of people decided to defend their home? And what happens there, and the have and have nots, the conversations that are being like started here. This was such a powerful film that I was again expecting a disaster movie. If I'm American, I've seen the Roland Emmerich a bazillion time. Let's blow something up, let's have a crazy thing. But this movie takes disaster movies, spins it on its head, and gives us such a unique experience. Survivors of an earthquake shack up in the Imperial Palace Apartments in Seoul. We have a bunch of different characters kind of figuring out what the hell to do. One, this movie taught me about the Korean apartment system and how much it's a lottery, how much people pride themselves of where they live, and what that means when someone's across the street in a not so nice apartment complex. It's crazy. This was a world I never understood, but I currently live in Florida where the housing market is pretty insane. So I actually felt this was very relatable. I would love to see if any of my Korean viewers are going to explain to me the apartment situation. Is it as interesting as the little opening of this movie made it seem? So we have the Imperial Palace Apartments, this very nice pristine apartment in Seoul, and it crumbles, but it's still standing compared to the other buildings around them. So the residents of the building start to shack up into the apartment complex, and they do not want outsiders in. Outsiders already, they start coming in, and the immigration conversations they have here, the residents are like, oh, I don't like how they're treating it. We're going to lose out on our own stuff. The sharing and caring aspect is gone when it's down to your last little bit of food and water. So we're mostly following, I'm going to butcher names. I am so sorry. But Park Seo-joon is our public servant. He's kind of our main character. He is used to this kind of world, used to the politics, used to the people, but he doesn't know what to do in this situation. He has a nurse wife played by Park Bo-young, who amazing. These two, I really think the both Parks, Si-young and Bo Young do great job. They do great work, making us feel, because the Min and the Myeong character, I believe Min is the male character and Myeong is the female character. They do such a great job of making you feel. She's a nurse, so she is so in love with helping people. But there is a time where you have to help yourself before you help other people. And things are hectic, things are crazy, so they decide to elect an official played by Byung-hun. He is the actor I know from I Saw the Devil. He's been in various American projects. His character comes in here and he's the delegate. He's mysterious, he's weird, he has a crazy backstory, and we're watching him try to lead this group, but he has a dark secret inside. And the moments we get flashbacks to his darker side, it's amazing. It's horrific. It's great, though. And I love the moments where we get his flashbacks in some of the more delightful moments. So we see what he's struggling with. So all of these main people are working together. There's a bunch of other characters. There's this one young girl who's the neighbor of Lee Byung-hun's character. And she's just like, I don't trust him. There's something going on. I'm trying to keep this very spoiler free because this movie definitely deserves the spoiler free treatment. So yeah, all of these people are going around. He's the elected official. He starts trying to make sure people stay who are supposed to stay, and they're making sure people who are not supposed to be there aren't supposed to be there. It's the have and have not story. That's what's really interesting, because I think South Korean films always have this kind of social commentary, the class commentary, who to trust, who is good, who is bad, and this movie really plays along with that. That's something I loved about Parasite. I expected Parasite to be a interesting drama about a family having to sneak into another family, but what it said about society, their culture, the way they treat people, it's amazing. And that's another prevalent subject within Concrete Utopia. We get how bad people can be in the disastrous moments, and then what happens when the good people are trying to still do good, but then what happens to that, because obviously no one else is playing by their good rules. This movie is complex, starts a lot of conversations, and I appreciate that. One of the biggest questions is, could this movie make it to the Oscars in the Best International category? I would definitely vote for this above some of the other movies I've seen, though I will be honest, I have not seen two of the biggest ones that are obviously the contenders. Concrete Utopia has to go against Zone of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall to even make it to the Best International category win. The nominations, it's fine, we pick our ones from each country, it could be really great, and I really think our director, I think it's Tae-hwa, is great. He directs the hell out of this film. He directs every moment to make it impactful, to make you feel something, to make you just think about this movie. This movie will bury itself into you, and you will often go back and be like, oh my god, remember that one time? It's just really crazy what this movie does and what I think it could do on that international feature film category. I think, as a Critics' Choice Awards voter, this would probably lean to one of my highest things. I need to be shooketh by Anatomy of a Fall and Zone of Interest. Those are two movies that I definitely are going to be good. I don't have real doubts of that, but I really think Concrete Utopia deserves to be in that conversation. Don't just let these other movies kind of swamp it all, and don't be like, oh, well, we gave Parasite the Korea win. We're good with, South Korean films winning Best Picture, Best International. No, it's not that game. Let this movie get the time to shine, because it definitely deserves to be in the conversation. Do I see it winning? I don't know. It would really need to speak with people, but I think this time period, much like I think Zone of Interest is very relevant, I think Concrete Utopia is very relevant as well. The talks of religion, the talks of class, the talks of humanity, there's a lot here that with the right viewers and the right marketing campaign, we can see this pushed to high heavens, and I would think it would be an easy shoo-in, but who knows nowadays. I just really want Concrete Utopia to get the moment at the award season, but beyond that, it's a strong movie that lives on its own. That's one thing I will always say to people who are, I want my movie nominated for the Oscars. If it doesn't, it's still great. Like, it's the conversation with Killers of the Flower Moon right now, not making a lot of money. That doesn't matter. Like, art is art. I don't care. We're not businessmen. You are not a business person. You did not put money into any of these movies. So don't care about the box office reception. Care about the art and how it made you feel and what you want. The awards, the money will come, but just enjoy the experience on yourself. So as much as I want Concrete Utopia to make the most money, to like win all the awards, I'm just happy this movie even exists. Well, everyone, that is it for my review of Concrete Utopia, a new South Korean thriller, drama, comedy, horror film. I don't know, there was 85,000 genres in this movie, and that's what makes it so special. What did you guys think of my review? What do you think of this movie? Share your feelings down in the comments below. If you are one of my Korean viewers, I'm so sorry I butchered everyone's name. I struggle with Benedict Cumberbatch sometimes. Like, I struggle with everyone's names, so do not take it as me just being blatantly ignorant to your thing. I struggle with names. I struggle with pronunciation all the time. So I want to say thank you for tuning in. If you are Korean, let me know what you thought about this movie and how it depicts the apartment struggles and what this would do. If you've had the chance to see this movie early, what do you think? Do you think this is an awards contender? Share your thoughts down below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. All right, let's talk right down below.